Okay, so continuing with that last video. So this is one possibility for that front cover, if you choose to do that or not. Okay, so going back to the pacing guide. Now, still on day one, here's that bell ringer. There's also an activity that you can do with that introduction that it's the introduction to the House on Mango Street is the first few pages of that reading response journal. Now, there's a different slides presentation if you choose to do it, but it will take a full class period. And this one, I'll have to make a copy of it. This one will apply specifically to that introduction by the author. Now, so there's the essential question again. And this one goes over also the big questions for annotation that your students do need to know the big questions, and they need to know the signposts for this unit. As you read each section, you will be answering the following questions. What surprised me? What changed, challenged, or confirmed my thinking? Now, as you go through, you can read the passage is broken down into paragraphs. So this first one is for reading paragraphs 1 through 4. So what you want to do is have the students read and annotate on their own, and then they're going to share with their partner, and then you're going to have a class share out. And then they're just going to go through, we're just chunking the text here so that they can get the main points that she's saying in this introduction, okay? And then we're going to, it ends with a quote about the language being anti-academic. And this is important for the students to understand because this book is written from the point of view of a little girl with the voice of a little girl. And so something for them to discuss is, what do you think the author means by anti-academic language? And write in your journal what you predict the House on Mango Street will be about. What do you predict about the theme? So that's just kind of an intro to an intro using the author's words. So back to the pacing guide. So now we have day 2. These are the vignettes that you want to read, and you can read them as a class. You can read them whole class read, have them read them individually. On the first day, I would read them as a class together and give them very specific expectations of what you're looking for. Okay, so like I said here, it's modeling day. And I would even maybe introduce the final project already, because the final project is going to be about theme, and they need to know what's expected of them at the end of the unit so that they can be looking for it while they're reading. So your assessments, you can always check the reading response journals during the student reading and discussion time. Okay, so again, day 3 is more reading. So this is where you can use what works for you in your classroom. So you might put the students in groups and have them read silently for 15 or so minutes, and then have them discuss what they're reading together. Maybe assign a vignette for each person in the group each person will be responsible for discussing a different vignette after they've all read all of them. This is where you can get creative with your classroom and your literature circles, however you're going to do it. This pacing guide, though, is to help you get through the book in 3 weeks. However, that does include having the students have to read some on their own for homework, okay? Now, sometimes you'll see in assessments, like for this one, there's a Google form quiz. So if you click on this, it'll take you to a Google form where you will just put that in your Google Classroom, and it'll grade it automatically for you. And these are just like comprehension checks. You'll see on day 4 and 5 that this one has an informational text connection, so it might take you 2 days to get through this one, but there is a quiz over the informational text here, again in Google Forms. So you'll go through and see all the different resources. There are assessments, there's selection test. If there is a textbook connection, the selection test is included there. There is a lot in this unit, so you'll have to pick and choose what you want to use and what's important to you if you want to try to finish this within 3 weeks, or if you're going to really use the textbook to go along with this, you maybe want to extend it longer than 3 weeks. I think I said 15 days, so that it fits the needs of your classroom.